Hello, I'm Adrian and welcome to the first chapter of my brand new series, Venom Comics Breakdown. As a lifelong fan of Venom, I take an in-depth look into his solo adventures. I got both volumes of his omnibus earlier this year, giving me the chance to revisit these stories in chronological order. So join me as we analyze each and every element, from the art to the characters to the story and much more. Before we begin, this is your spoiler warning. On this episode, we're taking a look at his very first solo storyline, Lethal Protector. The opening scene functions perfectly as an introduction to Venom's character, as well as his idea of justice. After absolutely eviscerating a thug that was attempting to steal a purse from a lady, he webs off into the distance, completely oblivious to the innocent lady's shock and terror. He doesn't find it wrong to annihilate his opposition, as long as he is protecting innocence, as he puts it. This sets him up as an anti-hero with a twisted sense of morality, and a very unique contrast to Spider-Man's values as a hero. What the opening issue does best is establish the level of strength that Venom has not only over common people, but Spider-Man himself. Once a couple of cops try to arrest him, upon recognizing him as a wanted Eddie Brock, he quickly knocks him out with hardly any effort. It doesn't take long for Spider-Man to find out he's been spotted in New York, and once he shows up, he sees him beating up on what appear to be government agents. Venom stops him dead in his tracks with this great series of panels showing how easily he catches and bends Spider-Man's would-be punch. After humorously scolding him for breaking his part of the deal of leaving him alone, the so-called government agents fire on Spider-Man. It's a pivotal scene not only because it shows Venom's strength, but it begins to dawn on Spider-Man that perhaps there is some good in Venom. Later on, Venom engages in an epic battle with Roland Treece's giant digging robots. It is an absolute joy to see Mark Bagley drawing Venom, one of the foremost artists in establishing his iconic look, aside from Todd McFarlane of course, from his razor-sharp teeth, gigantic eyes, and crazy tongue. Returning to the story at hand, we see a common trope that frequently appears in solo Venom storylines, and that is the fact that virtually everybody has access to some sort of sonic weapon, as symbiotes are weak to exceptionally loud sounds, but as long as they give Venom time to recover, he'll be okay. Once the giant mechs are dealt with, the community that Venom seeks to protect is firmly established, and this gives him a very concrete goal: to find out what Roland Treece wants with a group of homeless people that live in a collapsed part of San Francisco in an effort to hopefully be allowed to live among them. His infiltration into Treece's headquarters displays how much control he has over his tendrils, manipulating them to snake into alarm panels and disable security systems. This is an important component of a good superhero story, as you need to show why the character's specific powers would be useful. Naturally, things go wrong, and he is soon surrounded by security guards who refuse to back down given the chance, so he must knock them out, leading to some great action panels. You always get the sense of intense speed and power with the way everything is framed, from the clutched head in the foreground, to the yellow lines in the background, to later the placement of all the guards around them, while Venom practically smiles at the camera as he tosses them around like ragdolls. Soon, Venom is surrounded by a recurring enemy in his solo stories, the Jury, designed by Orwell Taylor, the father of a security guard that Venom eliminated during his vengeful days when his sole purpose in life was to end Spider-Man. They're basically low-level Iron Mans that of course have access to sonic weapons, but it's still fun to see them get thrown around by Venom as if they were wearing nothing but pillows as armor. Soon afterwards, Venom willingly walks right into a potential trap in hopes of getting closer to discovering the heart of the conspiracy, and is immediately captured and placed in the custody of Carlton Drake, head of the Shady Life Foundation. What should be noted here is that the main penciler switches from Mark Bagley to Ron Lim. What Ron adds to the character is pretty cool. He draws him in an even more hulking form than before, and adds lots of details to his eyes and teeth. All in all, it's a slightly different take than Mark Bagley's, but it still holds very true to the essence of Venom. Probably the best scene in this sequence is how Eddie Brock breaks through the sonic cage by using his own strength. Even without the symbiote, Brock has the strength of an Olympic weightlifter, and as you undoubtedly know, that is nothing to scoff at. As such, during this panel, the Eddie Brock part of Venom gets to shine, and in a way that perfectly complements his literal and figurative strength. But Brock is immediately captured with sonic weapons again and separated from the symbiote. It is then revealed that they will extract every last spawn of the symbiote. And here we get to two more tropes within the Venom storylines that will be used time and time again. The first being that some new person gets a piece of the symbiote and turns into their own Venom-like design, and the next that Eddie Brock gets separated from his symbiote for a prolonged period of time. Sometimes it's unwillingly, like in this instance, and sometimes it's willingly, but we'll revisit this in a future episode. Venom and Spider-Man team up to take on the new symbiotes, but they of course collide in terms of how they deal with them. But it's this collision that makes their partnership so different and interesting. Both team up for the common good, but their methods always clash with one another. The reunion panel between the symbiote and Eddie Brock is nothing short of fantastic as well, and it's such a great payoff after seeing Eddie Brock fret over it. Once they manage to escape from Carlton Drake's facility, they split up, and the story shows us another great use of Venom's powers. He is attempting to extract information from one of Treece's henchmen, and is first shot at point blank, which he easily shrugs off, and then uses his tendrils to go through a laser grid, getting to where the henchman had attempted to hide. In both instances, it was essential that Venom be in this situation, and not any other Marvel character, an example of great superhero writing. Venom finds out that Treece wants to blow up the community living beneath the surface to potentially find some legendary hidden gold. Spider-Man then shows up, and after a very brief skirmish, Venom asks for his help in taking down Roland Treece to stop him from enacting his plan. They work together and engage in an epic brawl against Treece's mechs at a construction site, leading to several of the coolest action panels in the series. It all culminates in a pivotal end sequence, one where Venom proves he has indeed grown beyond his vengeful origins. Venom needs to stop Roland Treece from pressing a button that will detonate the bomb. Trouble is, Treece is surrounded by fire, the symbiote's second weakness. With Spider-Man distracted in battle, he thus has to put up with the excruciating pain of sending his symbiote through fire and pull Treece out of the collapsing structure. Spider-Man finally turns around and sees him, asking how he could put himself through so much pain, and Venom simply states,
"Would you have done any less?"
Spider-Man is left practically speechless, replying,
"Well, no."
It's here where Spider-Man finally begins to see Venom as a potential ally. Sure, different writers end up having different takes on how Venom operates down the line, but as far as David Michelinie is concerned, he always makes sure to ground Venom with a just mindset. Venom returns to the underground community, and is finally allowed to stay with them and become their guardian, their lethal protector, culminating in this incredible panel. Lethal Protector is everything that a debut solo spin-off series should be. First off, it sets up villains unique to the protagonist. Whether it's Roland Treece, a man who wants to destroy the very community that Venom has sworn to protect, or Carlton Drake, someone who is bent on experimenting with symbiotes and using them for his own personal gain, or even Orwell Taylor, a man who literally created an entire fighting force to take him out. Secondly, it shows the unique powers that the protagonist has compared to heroes around him, in this case Spider-Man, and it gives us unique situations that are tailored to make the character shine. From using his tendrils to deactivate alarms, protect himself, as well as save people, to using his optic camouflage to get away unseen, to even having him use his brute strength to tear down massive mechs or resist bullets, you get an incredibly cool journey with Venom at the forefront. It also provides great character moments of introspection, as well as interaction with others. It gives him room to grow as a character, and it's got fantastic art to look at as you go through the story. And having Spider-Man show up in a supporting role was the absolute icing on the cake, as he basically acts as a substitute for the audience, constantly asking himself, can Venom be trusted? Has he truly changed? And for all these reasons, Venom Lethal Protector receives 5 out of 5 stars. What did you think of the storyline? Which one should I analyze next? Let me know in the comments below, subscribe for more awesome content, and see you next time.